See ya. And that's a win.
Ever since Spellbreak updated its status from alpha testing to beta testing, there's been a huge influx of new players, as well as returning players. The amount of support and growth of the player base has been outstanding. But some of you might be wondering, what is this game? Some kind of Magicka Battle Royale? Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, it is. Just end the video here. In all seriousness, that's usually my go-to overview of this game, but it goes much deeper than that. My name is Crazyguitarman, and today we're answering the question, what is Spellbreak?
Hey.
So before we get into this lovely game, I do want to mention that I stream Spellbreak pretty frequently, as well as a few other games. Links for that and any other places that you can find me are down in the description below. I'd also like to mention that while a fair amount of things are subject to change since this is still currently in early access, most of what we're covering has been static since the inception of this title. Anyway, with all of that aside, Spellbreak. One of the few games of this genre that brings a specific spice to it that no other game has been able to capture. The world is set in a realm known as the Hollowlands after an apocalyptic event, leaving the land to be plundered for anything that might have been left behind by whoever is willing to risk their life to do so. In typical Battle Royale fashion, each match starts with you waiting in a starting island where you can practice your fighting mechanics. As soon as either the timer finishes counting down, or you queue up with some 40 or 50 players, you're launched into the match. A large map where you and your team, if you've queued up with one, must fight against all other players, all the while being pushed towards each other by a randomized moving barrier that damages you, known as a spell storm. You survive against all your opponents and you win. You get killed and that's it, no respawns. Along the way you'll loot what you can to keep you alive and keep your enemy not so alive. For anybody who's been in the know of what the Battle Royale genre is, this will be basic knowledge for you. However, there are some decisions that you can make before the match even starts, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Ooh,
As far as ways that you can acquire this game, you are able to sign up onto the beta for free if you're a PC player. Just go onto their website, playspellbreak.com, click the join beta button, put in your information, and then they should release a wave of keys not too long after you've signed up. If you play during the alpha, all you'll need to do is update through your Epic launcher and you'll be good to go. Doing this doesn't guarantee you full access to the full game's release, as they haven't yet decided on being free to play or not, but you will have access up until then at the very least. You can also play this on PS4, however from what I've heard, PS4 doesn't allow for beta keys, so the only way to get it is by buying it for $49.99. Doing that is essentially the same thing as buying the cheapest Founders Pack, which is the Mystic Pack, which gives you some exclusive skins as well as guarantees access to the game on release. The same thing is what's listed on the Epic launcher as well, though that is not required if you sign up on their website.
Oh no! Fight him for me. Thank you.
While most Battle Royales have you playing Looty McShooty with lame old bullets that all do the same punching holes in people thing, in Spellbreak, you're known as a Breaker, a spellcaster who has broken their vow against using magic. As such, throughout the game, you'll find people launching boulders, summoning whirlwinds, shooting fireballs, and much more. Your main tool of defense will be your gauntlets, but let's be honest, it'll be used mainly for offense. These are devices that when worn allow you the ability to command one element, or two after you've gotten one for your second hand. You start off the game with a gauntlet matching the elemental class of your choosing, and upgrade that one, as well as finding a second one that you could swap out at any time. At this point of time, the elements are fire, ice, wind, earth, toxic, and lightning. Each gauntlet you have has two things you could do with them. The primary use is that gauntlet's spell. This uses mana from your mana pool, displayed here under your crosshair. User spells too much too quickly, and you'll have to recharge your mana. The second use for your gauntlets is known as your Sorcery. This is an ability that doesn't use mana, but is tied to a cooldown, and usually has an AoE effect depending on the gauntlet type. Finding better rarity gauntlets will increase the damage that they do, while also lowering the mana they consume per spell. Using both your sorceries and spells effectively is what will help you defeat your enemy and claim victory. However, the real cream of the crop is being able to combine the elements to your benefit. Much like in Magicka, there are many combinations you could do to have devastating effects to anyone within the area. Mix Toxic and Fire to get Dragonfire, burning much stronger than any ordinary fire. Send some lightning into a whirlwind, and it'll stun anyone within its wake. There are also combinations that cancel each other out, useful for not letting your opponent get an edge on you. There are quite a few interactions, so I won't cover them all here, but there'll be a link to one source that lists all the interactions down below in the description.
Your mom? Well, this is what I think about your mom. Your mom!
While the main emphasis of the game is on casting spells and sorceries with gauntlets to destroy your foes, there are also a few other pieces of equipment that will help you on your way. The fancier ones are runes. These are items that take up their own inventory slot, and when activated can do some interesting things. These, much like sorceries, operate on a cooldown, and have different rarities that lower their cooldown. Most are some sort of mobility, such as flying, leaping into the air shortly, or teleportation. Some are a little bit different, but are still useful defensively, such as invisibility. Many people consider runes the main way to stay alive, giving you the ability to dodge incoming attacks with ease. The rest of your wearable equipment comes in the form of boots, belts, and amulets. Before the switch from alpha to beta, these also used to have effects tied to some of them, which made gameplay more complicated, but now they're much more streamlined. Boots increase your run speed, belts give you and increase your maximum armor, and amulets will increase your mana pool. Each one can be upgraded by finding better rarities, which increases their effect. The last and simplest form of equipment are health potions and armor shards. As their main form of healing, there are 4 types: small and large health potions, as well as small and large armor shards. The small ones both give you 20 health or armor, and the large ones give you 50, but take longer to use. What Spellbreak does differently than most games is that these are effective over time, meaning that after using the item, you'll have to wait some time to get the full effect. This lets the cast time be short, while not letting severely damaged players instantly get fully healed, and also allows for some interesting gameplay by pre-healing before a fight, or stacking heal effects.
Ooh, got him.
As I've mentioned in the overview portion of this video, you have some choices about your gameplay before you've even started a match. You can select the 6 classes, which are based on the elements of the gauntlets of the game. These determine which gauntlet is in your main hand that you start off with, and also gives you buffs in regards towards that element. These buffs are things like Stone Shaper being able to cast their Earth Shatter spell to gain 5 armor, Tempest being able to use their own whirlwinds to launch up into the air, and many more. In each match you start off with the first effect, and as the spell storm progresses and you make it into each circle, you'll level up and gain the next effect in the class. The beta for Spellbreak brings with it a new system called Talents. You must unlock some of these by gaining experience with the different classes. These are basically passive buffs that aren't necessarily tied to any element. Things like spells doing extra damage when your mana is full, gaining armor or shield when you've eliminated an opponent, or being invulnerable to certain status effects. You have 3 categories: mind, body, and spirit. You may select one, or none if you choose, from each category, so long as their combined cost doesn't exceed 6 points. You start off with a listed buff, however as you go through the match, you may find scrolls referring to each category of talent. Reading a scroll will increase the level of said category up to a maximum of 3, slightly increasing the effect of the buff you've chosen.
Okay, there we go. Ooh. There we go. Nice.
One of the lesser talked about topics of this game is the lore that it's based around. It's still a work in progress, with them adding on more and more with each release, but with what they've written so far, I'm really enjoying what the Hollowlands has to offer in terms of story, as well as learning about how it got into the state that it's in. I'll leave you guys to read on it if you like, again, link in the description, but stay tuned for when I cover what's been written so far in the story. Now for stuff not having to do with the game itself, I do have to say that Spellbreak by far has one of the most supportive communities tied to a game that I've seen. The developers stream frequently to keep us in the loop on things, they do giveaways of skins, and they also host a lovely Discord that they participate in themselves. There's even a post-game lobby channel in their Discord where you can have a chat with whoever you may have bested or been bested by. You can tell they're really working on a game that they enjoy. Many of the well-known streamers of the game help and queue up with as many as they can, driving the knowledge and closeness of the community even further. From what I can tell, everyone involved from dev to player, including myself, just wants this game to blow up and continue becoming one of the best Magic-based games to hit the market. So yeah, that's Spellbreak for you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Always happy to answer anyone there. Feel free to stop by my stream as well. Drop me your questions, comments, and whatever else you got. If you'd like to see more Spellbreak gameplay, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, like the video, enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in the Hollowlands. Take care, everyone.
Okay. Not doing too bad. Okay. I get all three of them there.
Ask me questions as you need.
Dang it, I don't have my wand.
Oh, oh no.
I
Oh
fell
no.
into the pit.
Oh no.